D2 Word Life here, and to answer that question, everyone's better than Canyon except for Riptides.
Oh, I know everyone's better than except for you.
No. You were just really happy to see him on this show that we were watching.
No, I was not.
Oh, I bet you were. But anyway, the show in question that we are reviewing this week is, of course, SummerSlam 2001, which took place on August 19th, 2001 in San Jose, California at the Compaq Center with an attendance of 15,293, and the commentators for this event were Jim Ross and your boy Paul Heyman. And, of course, the ring announcer was Howard Finkel here. Now, before we get into discussing the matches that took place on this show, yes, SummerSlam 2001 was during the Invasion angle, so it was heavily mostly on WWF or WWE guys, whatever you want to call them, versus the Alliance members.
WWF. It was the Federation.
Oh, yeah, and here's a little fun fact. SummerSlam 2001 was the final SummerSlam under the WWF banner before they did the whole company name change. Less than a year later after this.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Sunday Night Heat match for this event saw Lita, Molly Holly, and Jacqueline defeat Ivory, Stacy Keibler, and Tori Wilson in a 6-woman tag match.
And Ivory was part of the Right to Censor.
We all know you were a fan of the Right to Censor. You don't need to keep bringing it up.
We know you were. Just like you were a fan of Canyon.
Anyway, to start the show, we get to the opening video package for this event, which wasn't a traditional opening video package. This is the only event that I remember it being an actual music video to hype up the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the song in question was "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor" by Drowning Pool. That opened up. That was the opening video package for this event, hyping up the matches and the main events of this show. Which I gotta admit, that song's a banger.
Yeah.
I bet when you heard that song at the start of the show, that brought you back.
Yes.
And God, I realize we're freaking old. Yeah, and then after that, we do the introduction of the show. The pyro goes off. Jim Ross, Paul Heyman welcome us to the show, and then we move on to the first match for the Intercontinental Championship, which was Intercontinental Champion Lance Storm representing the Alliance, taking on Edge representing the WWF or WWE, whatever you want to call it. It's still the same company, regardless. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, when Storm got to the ring, came out first, he tried to cut a promo, but he got interrupted by Edge's music, so there we go. Storm always gets interrupted. And I'll tell you what, man, for a Lance Storm match, I gotta admit, this match was boring. I mean, what? Wait, that didn't happen until about 2 years later. After this.
No, all Lance Storm's matches were boring.
No, they weren't. He actually had some good matches. Just, yeah. I don't really have a favorite Lance Storm match.
Your favorite Lance Storm match was when he joined the Un-Americans.
No. That would be a year later after this, and that was you. That was your favorite stable.
Nope, you liked the Un-Americans with Christian, Lance Storm, and the Testicle.
No. But anyway, back to the match at hand that we need to start talking about. This match kind of started off with a fast pace in the early going. And Edge freaking, at one point near the start, after Edge nailed Storm with a shoulder block, Edge freaking hit a flapjack on the Storm, followed by drop kick, and a clothesline.
A drop quick? What the fuck's a drop quick?
A drop quick. Yeah, I'm going to drop you quickly. That's a drop quick. God damn, you can't talk. Why the hell am I talking? Of course, at one time, Edge went to the top and hit a cross body block on the Storm for a 2 count. Right? And then, after a little bit of fighting outside the floor, back in the ring, Storm tried to freaking take control and got Edge with the most devastating maneuver in all sports entertainment, the roll-up for a 2 count as well. Yeah, and the whole time the locker room from both freaking groups were watching this match at the same time, so keep note of that.
Yes.
So yeah, here's some good back on a little bit later on in the match. Edge hit a few clotheslines and a back body drop and a spinning heel kick. They got a 2 count on the Storm. Storm didn't really have this much offense when the pace started going more in Edge's favor. Right.
It was for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, and then freaking Storm at one point tried to nail a Hurricane Rana, but Edge countered into a sit-out powerbomb for 2, which looked impressive. Right? Yeah, and then freaking Storm and the offense had freaking Edge down, so he's like, screw it, I'm gonna apply my finishing maneuver, submission hold, which is the half Boston Crab. Which after some agony, Edge was able to make it to the ropes. He got out of it. Or not the ropes, the turnbuckle.
He performed the half Boston Crab.
Yeah, Edge got the turnbuckle, broke the half Boston Crab, and then when he knocked Storm off, he applied Storm's own submission hold. The half Boston Crab on the Storm instead. But of course, Storm broke out of it, and that's when Christian came down to the ring, Edge's brother at the time, or close friend, whatever you want to call him. Well, then they were brothers in storyline. He ran down to the ring. The referee was bumped momentarily, or out of position. Christian got in the ring and he tried to hit a spear on Storm, but Storm moved out of the way and Christian nailed Edge with the spear instead. Which then Christian was met with a kick from Storm, getting him out of the ring. And then Storm went for the cover, only for a 2 count. And of course, Storm tried to capitalize on Edge still, but Edge reversed Storm's momentum and hit a execution DDT to get the 3 count and the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep. And he was surprised as hell to see Christian at the end of the match.
And of course, after the match, Christian handed Edge the Intercontinental Championship and gave him a hug in the middle of the ring, but you could tell Christian was a little bit jealous with the way he was looking at the title first before handing it over. And this was just planting the seeds, because it would be, less than 3 weeks, it would be about 3 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, that Christian would turn on Edge, starting their whole rivalry in late 2001.
Yeah, he would jump to WCW.
But yeah, your thoughts on this opening contest at this SummerSlam 01, this opening contest.
It looked good and can't even come out with SummerSlam, can you?
I can't talk for shit. Why the hell do I agree to do these freaking reviews? Oh, because it's in your contract. It's in my contract. Freaking it says I have to do it. God damn it. Sorry, I can't talk. I got strep throat. I got a doctor's note.
Fuck your doctor's note.
But yeah, I thought the match was an alright start. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't in my opinion, it wasn't a 5-star classic or anything, but Edge winning got the crowd freaking excited or pumped up for the rest of the show. So I guess mission accomplished there. Right?
It was also the start of the domination for the WWF.
Yeah, but then backstage, it's like backstage we see the Dudley Boys and Test freaking heading to gorilla position, getting ready for their 6-man tag, which was coming up momentarily. And then they got interrupted by your boy, Michael Cole.
Nope, your boy.
We all know that's your boy. He was your favorite backstage interviewer and current ring commentator.
No.
I mean, you truly loved his orange singlet they'd be wearing 10 years after this event.
Oh, I know you did.
No, that was you.
Nope, that was you. You dream of it every day.
No, that's you.
Nope, that is you yet again.
Anyway, off topic here. Getting back on the subject matter at hand. Michael Cole actually did an interview with Test and the Dudley Boys, mostly with Test, asking Test why he turned his back on the WWE. And Test said, no, I didn't turn my back on the WWE. It was the rest of you guys that turned their backs on me. After he got apparently got an ass kicking for that he didn't deserve because everyone thought that he was a mole to turn his back and join the Alliance. At this point, which he wasn't. Everyone was just paranoid. You know what I'm saying? And he pretty much said that the Dudley Boys are about loyalty, and Shane McMahon was about loyalty, and the Alliance is pretty much about loyalty. That's what I got out of his little interview here.
Yeah, but you couldn't fault them for saying that because he was talking to Stephanie and Shane the entire time.
It's like, yep. And of course, freaking Test at the start of the interview pretty much calling Michael Cole a little bitch. I'm like, yeah, I'll take what we won't hear today for 500, Alex.
We all know that you're the little bitch's fan, bitch boy.
So wait, Michael Cole's your boy, so you're the little bitch's bitch?
I know you are.
But then after that interview, guess what? Did we go to the 6-man tag match right away? No, we go to another interview. This time with Lillian Garcia in the back interviewing Chris Jericho, where Jericho talked about his match with Rhino later on in the show. Right?
Yes, that was his opportunity to avenge his losses.
And to beat Rhino for the first time. And then it goes from him talking about his match with Rhino to him just burning Stephanie McMahon. Right?
Yeah.
Pretty much saying, yeah, Stephanie will remember her first time with the freaking coach of the basketball team and the baseball team and the Latin club. And you know the joke. I'm not going to repeat everything he said. Implying that Stephanie McMahon was a whore. Basically. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, that being said, we can go back to the ringside area where we see our next match, which was a 6-man tag team match. It was the aforementioned Dudley Boys and Test taking on the APA, Farouk Bradshaw, and Spike Dudley. So, yeah, both teams all competitors make their entrances. And at first, the Dudleys and Test were in control when the Dudleys hit a double team neck breaker on Farouk early on in the matchup. Right?
Yeah.
And Devon then hit a running back elbow, but Farouk came back with a spine buster to try to get the advantage back on their side. I mean, this one was a wild 6-man tag. Slow to start off, but, near the end it was getting a little bit chaotic and wild.
Yeah.
A little bit later on, Bradshaw nailed a forearm to Devon, followed by a DDT, and then Spike got an inside cradle on Devon for a 2 count. It's kind of weird.
Spike was using his tiny leverage.
Yeah, it's kind of weird seeing the Dudley Boys against Spike Dudley, but, it is what it was back then. Since the Dudley Boys were members of the Alliance, along with Test against Spike Dudley and AJ representing the WWE, if you've not made that clear. Right?
Yeah.
You know, there was multiple tags in and out, with the heels being in control for the most of it. Including freaking Test hitting a freaking spine buster on freaking Spike that looked like it broke Spike in half. How'd that not break Spike Dudley in half? I do not know. Right?
Flapjack not fucking break him in half. He was 10 feet in the air.
Oh yeah, that flapjack that he took, yeah. I'm like, yeah, no wonder he is legit 100% retired today. His body, because of his body with all that abuse over the years. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see a powerbomb look devastating? Have Spike Dudley take it. It looks like his spine will get broken in half. Right?
Yes.
And of course, keep this in mind. While Tess was a legal man in the ring, freaking the Dudley boys were outside. We're on the outside, and they took a table out and set it up like they usually do. And even Jim Ross was like, "This isn't a tables match." And Paul Heyman was like, "Yeah, you're right, but it's a Dudley's match. And where there's Dudley's, there's tables." So I'm like, "Oh, crud." He's got a point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tess freaking, after the table was set up, Tess freaking lifted up Spike and looked like he was going to throw Spike right out onto the table, but Spike saved himself by gouging Tess' eyes. And then we see in the double flapjack that you were talking about that Spike got all that, went 10 feet up in the air from the Dudleys. All right? Yeah, and I bet when you seen that, you were probably like, holy shit. Right? That's a lot of air. Right? Yeah, and then Devon tried to freaking go for a high-risk maneuver off the metal rope, but Spike moved out of the way, and Devon ate nothing but canvas shortly afterwards. And of course, Bradshaw got the tag in, and he was a house of fire at this point. And of course...
Yeah, until fucking Shane McMahon came in with a fucking chair.
Yeah. He was a house of fire at this point, but before we get to the end, Bradshaw did hit a powerbomb on Tess for a 2 count. And then because Bubba pulled Bradshaw out of the ring. So Spike Dudley was back in the ring with Test. And Spike tried to do his finisher, the Dudley dog on Test, but Test reversed it and tossed him out of the ring through the table, taking Spike Dudley out of the match. Right? Of course, yes. Bradshaw got back in the ring, was able to nail the clothesline from hell onto Test, and he went for the cover, but there was no 3 count because referee Nick Patrick was on the outside of the ring checking on Spike, thus being distracted. And that's when Shane McMahon came out, nailed Test in the head with a chair, allowing Test to cover Bradshaw, and then that's when the referee Nick Patrick conveniently got back in the ring to deliver the 3 count, and thus give the victory to the Test and the Dudley boys here. Your thoughts on this one?
It was bullshit.
And mind you, my description of this match may be long, but I'm not talking about every move spot for spot. Only high spots. Right? But as far as I thought it was an alright 6-man tag up until the end. Like seeing all the abuse that Spike Dudley's given. 1, how the hell is he still walking around today? And 2, holy shit. Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention it was at this time in storyline that Spike Dudley was actually in a relationship with Molly Holly. I believe their association lasted maybe lasted about a month after this before she ditched him for Shane Helms, who eventually became the Hurricane. As we all know.
And she became Mighty Molly.
Yes. As we all know, one of her famous incarnations, right? That's still talked about today, obviously. But yeah, yes. I thought the 6-man tag match was all right and chaotic up until, the deflated end with the interference. But You know, other than that, I thought it was a solid 6-man tag here for the time.
Yeah.
And of course, backstage, and of course, we go back to the locker room where we saw all the WWE wrestlers in the back congratulating Edge for winning their Intercontinental Championship. And then Christian said that he'd be facing Matt Hardy for the European Championship the next night on Raw. Which, yeah, Christian would end up facing Matt Hardy for the European title the following night on Raw after this, but as we all know, he would lose that match. Right?
Yep.
And of course, then his cell phone, Christian answered his cell phone, and it was their grandma wanting to talk to Edge, which Edge was like, "Hey, what's up, Grandma Edma? Hey, Grams, you know all that stuff." He goes, and at the end of their little conversation, he goes, "Oh yeah, Christian wants to talk to you." He hands the phone back to Christian. He goes, "Hello, what? God damn it, she hung up." I'm like, "There's some dissension right there." It was just straight up obvious. I don't know why people were so shocked when it happened. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then did we go to our next match? No, we instead we were treated to Deborah in her locker room, looking at like schedule or whatever, or pamphlet or whatever she had in her hand there. And then your boy, Sean Stasiak, showed up. And she yelled at him for walking in without knocking, you know. And Stasiak was like, "I'm looking for Stone Cold." Basically saying, "Hey, if there's any inspiration he can do, it's these tights. They're bad luck. He has mech on the back. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean." Right?
Yeah.
And then Deborah pointed out that Austin is freaking preparing for a very important match against Kurt Angle. He goes, "If you want to impress," and she told Stacey, "If you want to impress Austin, go out there and kick some butt. Now get out of here." More on Sean Stasiak later. Right?
Yep.
So we go to a very interesting match. This was for next match up here. This was for the Light Heavyweight Championship and the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. As it's WWE Light Heavyweight Champion Tajiri taking on the WCW Cruiserweight Champion X-Pac. And this was the only match on the night that did not affect their invasion storyline whatsoever, because these were two WWE guys going at it in this match. Just so you know, despite the fact that X-Pac was a former WCW guy, he never joined the Alliance. Which X-Pac doesn't get a whole lot of credit for because he never joined the Alliance despite his history with WCW. Back then, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And of course, X-Pac came out with his old generic freaking theme song in the freaking Peacock version. But I can tell you right now, since I had this event on VHS tape. Oh, sorry. For those of you that don't know what a VHS tape is, it's a freaking big block that you have to rewind and fast forward to watch your show on. Or your movie or pay-per-view event, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I had the old VHS version, and X-Pac's theme song at this time was the Uncle Kracker theme song that he had.
Yeah.
That everyone knows about with his X Factor stable. Right? But yeah, this match was fast-paced from the early going here, even though people were chanting X-Pac sucks, X-Pac heat, which I guess now you can say is Dominic heat. Am I right?
Yeah.
And of course, early on the match, X-Pac nailed an arm drag takedown on Tajiri, followed by X-Pac doing another takedown on Tajiri, and he decided to taunt Tajiri, but Tajiri got revenge with a slap, and then X-Pac charged in, and Tajiri took him out with a Hurricane Rana and a missile dropkick that sent X-Pac to the outside of the ring. And that was just at the start. I'm just like, okay, this is going to be a fast-paced matchup, as we know, for both belts. Well, yeah, and honestly, I think this was the last time the light heavyweight championship was defended. Also, right?
Yep.
Of course, though, later on the outside, X-Pac drove Tajiri groin first into the ring post, so I guess you can say X-Pac is addicted to Tajiri's Japanese buzzsaws.
Yes.
Yeah, and then back in the ring, freaking X-Pac freaking nailed a spin kick, but X-Pac then went for the surfboard submission hold. And a little bit later on, X-Pac hit a sit-out powerbomb for a 2 count. There you go. Right?
Yep.
Sorry if it sounds like I'm covering a lot of spots here. Just these cruiserweight, light heavyweight matches have a lot of big spots in them. Right? To talk about. Of course, X-Pac tried to go for a Bronco Buster a little later on, but Tajiri countered, got out of the way, and X-Pac ended up going upside down on the tree roll in the turnbuckle. So Tajiri then decided to hit a drop kick to the head of X-Pac in that position. Right?
Yep.
Which, yeah, and then Tajiri also got a 2 count following handspring elbow from the X-Pac here. And of course, freaking on the ropes, Tajiri slapped his signature tarantula submission hold against the ropes, which is an illegal hold, so Tajiri had a count of 4 before being disqualified at 5. But it doesn't take much to feel the pain of that maneuver anyway.
Yeah.
And of course, Tajiri went for a crossbody block off the top rope, but X-Pac rolled through for a 2 count. And it was at this point, it was like a little bit after this point, those two had a little bit more freaking action going outside the ring, including X-Pac hitting a somersault plancha over the top rope to take out Tajiri to the floor. Right?
Yep.
And of course, Tajiri then freaking nailed a kick on X-Pac, but X-Pac battled back by nailing his finisher, the X Factor, which X-Pac freaking made the cover, but Tajiri kicked out. And it was shortly after that X-Pac's friend, Albert, your boy, A-Train, came out.
You would like A-Train.
It's like Albert came out, and it wasn't that long before Albert got onto the freaking dang ring apron when Tajiri was freaking still in control. So Tajiri spat red mist into Albert's face, while the referee was distracted with that, which allowed freaking X-Pac to nail another low blow on the freaking Tajiri. So once again, X-Pac is addicted to Tajiri's Japanese buzzsaws once again. And then afterwards, X-Pac hit the X Factor and got the 3 count to unify the Cruiserweight and Light Heavyweight Championships. Your thoughts on this match?
Man, it's a decent match, but it would have been better without fucking Albert coming in.
Well, as Paul Heyman said, he didn't do anything physically to get involved with the match.
That is...
And then you're just like JR goes, but he wanted to. Right? Ugh. Exactly. I mean, he didn't physically touch freaking Tajiri or assault him in any way. If anything, Tajiri assaulted him for no reason. But I thought the match was decent for what it was. I thought it was great for what it was. And now we go to possibly your favorite part of SummerSlam 2001. You know what I'm talking about.
It was your favorite segment of 2001 when freaking Perry Saturn was looking for Moppy.
Nope. That was yours. And yes, we cut to WWE New York saying that Perry Motter has been searching for Moppy for over a week. And he even freaking...
No, it would be Frank's.
Yeah, and so is Frank. He's also been looking for fucking Moppy lately. He can't find him either. Can't find her either. And then what does Perry Saturn do? He goes, oh, the people from the Dairy Council came out and put Moppy's face in the side of milk cartons. And then he ends his little promo saying, I miss you, Moppy. You're welcome. I'm like, jeez. And all the jokes kept coming in.
Yes.
Well, and the reason we say that our friend Frankinator is also missing Moppy is because he literally had an emblem on World War II on his shovel of Moppy's face. And for some reason, all emblems have been scrubbed from the Call of Duty World War II game recently. For those of you wondering what we meant by that.
Yes.
And let's face it, we all know your favorite storyline in WWE with Perry Saturn was Moppy. And yes, as we know, that was a punishment that he had to endure. I know that it was yours. But then we go to the locker room again, where we see Rhino sitting in his locker room with Stephanie McMahon. And pretty much Stephanie was just all complaining, saying that Rhino needs to take Chris Jericho out, needs to gore him in the middle of the ring. And Rhino just said, tonight, I'm going to finish Chris Jericho off. And Stephanie's like, I'm counting on it. So yeah, this rivalry has been going on for like the past month, ever since after the Invasion pay-per-view. This was mostly Rhino in a freaking feud with Stephanie McMahon. And pretty much Stephanie McMahon was the one who set up this match. It would be Jericho versus Rhino at SummerSlam. But, not many people remember like the full-on rivalry to this between these two. But they do remember what happened on the SmackDown before SummerSlam, the Go Home SmackDown show. And that is a spot that got replayed for years and years and years, the last 24 years, that people still remember. And that was the incident where Rhino speared Jericho to the Ovaltron on SmackDown.
Yep.
And you know what's funny? That would be the end of an era, because literally on the SmackDown following SummerSlam 2001, that's when we got introduced to the SmackDown Fist set, which people still want to see come back.
I do too.
Exactly. So that's why that little spot with Jericho being speared to the freaking SmackDown screen is well remembered for what it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get to the match. Rhino made his entrance with Stephanie McMahon in his corner, representing the Alliance, obviously, since Rhino was the final ECW champion. Back when ECW was a separate company, by the way. I'm not talking about WWE ECW. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
Yeah.
And of course, Jericho made his entrance, got a big ovation, right? Obviously, Jericho was representing the WWE here. And Jericho was also another guy that never jumped the Alliance during this time. Even though he was affiliated with WWE. Yes, he would turn heel about a couple months after this, but he never once defected to the Alliance during that heel turn.
Nope.
Which is kind of shocking, because it felt like at this time, if someone turns heel, they go to the Alliance. Not all the time. All right.
Well, shortly before this, he was a WCW guy, and then they fucking canceled his contract.
Yep.
And Mr. McMahon's like, fuck this, I want you over here. So he brought him over to the Federation.
It's like early on, Rhino got the advantage early on of Jericho, including tossing Jericho into the ring apron. And of course, Jericho then went up to the top, it hit a forearm smash, and then Jericho had a spinning heel kick for 2. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then a little later on, Jericho had a springboard dropkick that knocked Rhino off the ring apron onto the outside. Right?
Yep.
Whew. Fuck. Yeah, and then freaking Jericho went up to the top, but Stephanie grabbed his foot and the referee never saw it, and Jericho then jumped off the top rope, but whatever maneuver that Jericho had in mind, Rhino countered when he nailed Jericho with a gore in midair. Right? That looked like it hurt. Oh, no shit, it looked like it fucking hurt. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then freaking back in the ring after they were down for a bit, back in the ring, Rhino got a 2 count on Jericho following that. Yeah, then what's scary was Rhino then nailed a suplex that sent Jericho ribs first into the freaking top rope. So Rhino was working on those freaking ribs. They're trying to wear down that body part, right?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, and then Rhino then distracted the referee, and then Stephanie got involved when she nailed Jericho with a hard slap. Right? Because we know this was going to be interference heavy. You know, a little later on, Jericho was freaking fighting back after some back and forth, and they both eventually nailed a double clothesline, and both guys were down at this point. Right?
Yeah.
And then Jericho got a backslide cover for a freaking 2 count here. And I'm surprised there was no chin locks at all during this match. You would think. I'm just kidding. Right?
I know. You were so disappointed, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. And of course, here's the spot that looks scary. Rhino was down. Jericho went for the lion's salt, and he nearly botched it, but Rhino freaking caught him in the end. He almost landed on the top of his head. Right? When Jericho slipped on the move, which, thank God, otherwise this match could have looked a whole lot different. Right? Scary thought here. Yeah, then Jericho then went up to the middle ropes and nailed a missile drop kick, and then Stephanie was on the ring distracting the referee. Right?
Yep.
And what did Jericho do to get freaking Stephanie down? He went over to Stephanie and freaking gave her a big kiss on the lips, which made freaking Stephanie freaking dry heave on the floor, selling it like she was poisoned or something.
The funny thing is, Paul was like, "Oh, that's a married woman. How dare he take advantage?"
Yeah, and speaking of that, it's kind of funny how Jericho went from being the enemy of Stephanie to Stephanie's little bitch around the time WrestleMania 18 the following year happened when Triple H got involved. That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jericho nailed a bulldog on a Rhino, and then Jericho went for the lion's saw, but Rhino moved. And then Jericho then later on got a lion's saw anyway for a 2 count. Yeah, and then I think Jericho at one point went for the walls of Jericho, or got the... Actually, no, it was Rhino that had the walls of Jericho on Jericho first. Right? And I'm like, oh God, how embarrassing would it be to tap out to your own submission hold? Right? But no, Jericho didn't tap out. He got to the bottom rope to break the hold. And then Jericho got back up and nailed an enziguri to Rhino. But then Rhino then nailed a side belly to belly near the end. And then obviously Rhino went for the gore, but Jericho moved out of the way. Rhino ate nothing but freaking turnbuckle, and then Jericho then freaking trapped freaking Rhino into the freaking walls of Jericho, which at some points looked like he was doing a freaking lion tamer submission hold, but either way, Rhino tapped out, giving Jericho the win. Your thoughts on this one?
It was good. It was finally, he broke his losing streak against Rhino.
And yeah, the reason I say Jericho looked like he had his old lion tamer submission hold was because when the hold was applied, it looked like freaking at some points looked like Jericho was like, freaking jamming his knee up against freaking Rhino's back and neck at points too, like he would a lion tamer.
Yeah.
As we know, inside the traditional walls that he would usually apply. By the way, Jericho, I thought Jericho won. I thought freaking told a good story that it needed to tell. Jericho won this one, and but yeah, it was a good match. It was the best match on the card so far up to this point. It's not the best match of the night, but it's the best match up to at this point. In my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Only to be topped. Only to be topped a little later, but we'll talk about that when we talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we go to the back where we see the commissioner, William Regal, walking backstage with The Rock. And William Regal asked him if there was a 100% chance that asked him if there's a chance it'll be 100% after what happened to him on SummerSlam or SmackDown. Shit, I can't fucking talk for shit. You know the episode of SmackDown, the go home show where Booker T freaking nailed the booking onto The Rock to the announce table. That's what I'm talking about here.
The bootleg version of the Rock Bottom?
Yes. And The Rock say he was hurt. Is The Rock hurt? Yeah, he's damn right he's hurt. Is The Rock down? Yeah, damn right he's down. But he'll be here at SummerSlam. And then he asked freaking William Regal, it's like, do you hear it? And he heard all the freaking Rocky chants, and he goes, yes, I can hear that. He goes, do you feel it? Do you feel the electricity that could stay next to the next WCW champion? He goes, Regal's like, yes, I can feel it. And he goes, do you smell it? I'm like, not the best question to ask when someone just got out of the bathroom, but okay, do you smell it? Right? Regal's like, smell what? But before The Rock could answer that, here comes Shawn Stasiak running towards The Rock and William Regal. They just part ways and he nailed the garage door.
I know. That was fucking hilarious.
And I'm like, that is so random. Right? And then The Rock, not even being fazed by that or selling what just happened, said, smell what The Rock is cooking. And I'm like, what the fuck? The only thing that would have been better is all of a sudden we just heard, this is Shawn Stasiak and welcome to Jackass. That. Right?
Shawn Stasiak, welcome to Jackass.
Yeah, smash. Right? Anyway, we go to our next matchup. This time for the Hardcore Championship, which saw Hardcore Champion Jeff Hardy representing the WWE, taking on Rob Van Dam representing the Alliance. And let's face it, Rob Van Dam was like the only Alliance member that got cheered by the fans. And technically, this was Rob Van Dam's only freaking time as a heel in WWE, and it didn't really work because the fans were still cheering him anyway, as we know.
Yeah.
Right? And the story is Van Dam defeated Jeff Hardy at the Invasion pay-per-view about a month prior to win the Hardcore title, but Jeff Hardy won the Hardcore title back on the Raw prior to this event, and then that's why this match was set up being a ladder match. Two people who are, would you say, masters of the ladder match at this point, as we know.
Yeah.
Right? And boy, was this match wild for what it was. Oh, we didn't have like 12 dozen ladders like we see today. There was only one ladder used throughout this whole thing, and sometimes that's all you need. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and they were battling each other in the ring. In the ring, you know, traditional wrestling style before they got a little bit more hardcore with the ladder. Including freaking Van Dam going for a kick early, but Jeff avoided it, and then Van Dam then missed a drop kick, and then Jeff Hardy then nailed the leg drop to the midsection of Van Dam, one of his signatures. Right?
Yeah.
And then on the outside, and then freaking on the apron, Jeff Hardy gave Van Dam a hip toss over the top rope to the floor, followed with Hardy nailing a springboard corkscrew moonsault that took both men out by the announcers' tables. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then a little bit later on, Van Dam actually came back and got back in control, nailing his leg drop to the back of the neck of Jeff while he was positioned on the barricade. Another Van Dam freaking signature move. Right? And of course, Van Dam at this point decided to go grab the ladder, but as soon as he got a hold of the ladder, freaking Jeff Hardy come running up the barricade, nailing Van Dam down. Like you use another Hardy signature there.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jeff Hardy brought the ladder to the ring, so Van Dam jumped off the barricade, sending the ladder into Jeff's face. Right? Like a slingshot style, as we all know. And that looked like it would hurt. Well, then again, there's really no safe way to take a bump from a ladder, as we know. Right?
Oh.
Yeah, and then Van Dam at this point tried to grab the ladder and actually, prop the rest of the ladder back in the ring. But freaking Jeff Hardy came back with a drop kick to the ladder that sent freaking Van Dam backwards after Van Dam got nailed in his ribs with the ladder, chest and ribs with the ladder. Right? Yeah, but then a little later on, Jeff Hardy nailed the springboard moonsault onto Van Dam, who was propped up on the ladder this time. That looked like it hurt. I mean, there were so many wild spots in this ladder match, I can't name them all. And I don't want to freaking sit here and talk for like 20 minutes, right? On this match alone. And then Hardy attempted to climb the ladder first, but Van Dam jumped off the top rope, knocking him down with a kick. Right? Yeah, and then a little later on, Van Dam was on top of the ladder, or Van Dam put the ladder on top of Hardy and then hit a moonsault into the ladder, crushing Jeff Hardy at the same time. So, in other words, Van Dam nailed the Rolling Thunder onto the ladder. Right?
Yeah.
And, of course, in doing so, Van Dam was in control, set up the ladder, he went up to climb, but then Hardy got back up and nailed a missile dropkick on Van Dam, landing it on Van Dam off the ladder. Also, right?
Yeah.
And then Jeff Hardy tried to go and nail his finisher, the Swanton Bomb, onto Van Dam, but Van Dam moved out of the way, and then Van Dam went to the top for a 5-star frog splash, but Jeff Hardy also moved out of the way, which resulted in Van Dam eating nothing but ring canvas. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, this crowd was into it. This crowd was into it. They were cheering for all the destruction they were seeing. And of course, at one point, Jeff Hardy was climbed up the ladder, and then Van Dam went up to the other side. And then Van Dam hit a suplex off the ladder that sent both men down to the canvas, to the ring mat. Right?
Yeah.
And at this point, both men, neither of them had the advantage. What were you thinking at this particular moment here?
Just get the damn title.
Yeah, and I bet you're thinking both these guys were nuts back in their day.
Yeah.
But we'll get to the finish.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, but we're getting near the finish. Near the finish, yes, Jeff Hardy hit a sunset powerbomb from the ladder onto Van Dam, which put Van Dam down, RVD down. Hardy then tried to climb the ladder. He got onto the top. He had the freaking title, but he got both hands on the hook where the ladder hangs from. But RVD removed the ladder from under him, so Jeff Hardy was just dangling there, where the Hardcore Championship was being propped up. And then Van Dam then tried to do a freaking kick off the top rope to knock him down, but that did not connect. So Jeff Hardy just let go and just crashed them out on his own accord. I think the planned finish was for Van Dam to knock Jeff Hardy off with that spinning heel kick in midair. That would have been a great way to end this match, knocking Jeff Hardy out of it. But no, that didn't work. It was a botch. But instead, so they had to improvise with another spot where Jeff Hardy went to go climb up the ladder once again, but Van Dam knocked the ladder down, sending Jeff Hardy crashing into the ring ropes.
Yep.
And then it was at that point, Van Dam got enough time to climb up the ladder and retrieve the Hardcore Championship, thus winning the match. Your thoughts on this one?
It was a good match.
Yeah, did the botch hurt a little bit? I wouldn't necessarily say so, because all the other stuff they did in the match freaking looked painful as hell, too. So, yeah. I thought this was a good, hard-hitting ladder match. Was it the best ladder match I've seen? No, I don't even think I would put this ladder match in my top 5, but maybe, like, if I did a top 10 of my favorite ladder matches, maybe this one will be, like, 7th or something like that. Right?
Probably.
So, yeah, after the match, Van Dam and Jeff Hardy nodded at each other as a sign of respect and the fact that they were selling their pain from the hellacious match they just put on. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we go to the back. We go to the backstage area. Booker T was in the locker room. Shane McMahon gave him a present. Right. And pretty much, and then so Booker T opened the friggin' gift, and it was friggin' a bookend made from the remains of the announce table that Booker put the Rock through on SmackDown. And basically, Booker said that he was going to dedicate his match to Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the end of it. And then we got shown the WCW Tag Team Champions, The Undertaker and Kane, making their walk backstage down to the ringside area with, and of course, Taker had his wife Sarah with him at the time.
Yeah.
Do we really
They made a segment of showing DDP was the stalker all along.
Do we really have to talk about the stalker angle? This was the worst storyline in the invasion angle.
The DDP was stalking Sarah to do mind games against The Undertaker because he knew he couldn't beat The Undertaker straight up. So he kept freaking playing mind games. And then on the week before SummerSlam, or 2 weeks before SummerSlam, it was either 1 week or 2 weeks, freaking Kane was waiting for Undertaker and Sarah in the back, and he's like, "You're welcome. You better be saying thank you to me for not going and taking DDP out right now because he made a weird shrine to Sarah."
That right there, this whole stalker angle, that was the shrine fucking room. That was the most cringiest shit I've ever seen.
Imagine if they did that for the Angle and Booker T angle.
Oh, I bet Vince McMahon wanted to freaking wanted Kurt Angle to do that and revisit that, and I bet Angle was like, "Fuck that, no." That would have made that story 10 times worse than it already was. Let's just all agree that the stalker angle was the worst angle that WWE's put on, or one of the worst, and it killed DDP's WWE career before it even got started. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, it was about 2 or 3 weeks, I think it was 2 weeks prior to this on SmackDown, that DDP and Kanyon won the WWE Tag Team Championships from the APA, and that's when it was announced
the
that
APA were cheated out of their titles.
Thanks to Test, but that's when William Regal made the match, saying, "You know what? At SummerSlam, you two will be defending those tag team titles against the Undertaker and Kane in a steel cage."
Oh, no, he's all like, "Oh, you guys are underneath my brand now, and so you're underneath me now. So now you have to defend those in at SummerSlam against the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, it's in a steel cage."
Yep. And I think it was like maybe the Raw prior to this SummerSlam that the Undertaker and Kane would go on to defeat Sean O'Haire and Chuck Palumbo to win the WCW Tag Team titles, thus making this cage match a Tag Team Championship unification match.
Yes.
Of course, it's kind of interesting because right when we got back to ringside following the video recap package, all of a sudden we hear, "Who better than Kanyon?" And I'm just like, everyone!
We better than Kanyon.
So yeah, Kanyon made his entrance first. Of course, at this point, Kanyon was one half of the WWE Tag Champions, plus the WCW US Champion. Right?
Yeah.
And then shortly afterwards, we see DDP come out, making his entrance to the ring. And they were freaking announced separately. And they were like, in the ring, however, was like, "Introducing first, Kanyon and DDP, the WWE Tag Team Champions." Or something, right? Like, why didn't they come out at the same time? But I don't know, right?
Yeah.
And of course...
And then they're like, "Oh, and their challengers."
And their opponents. First, we hear the start of Kane's entrance theme play. And then another entrance edit happened to where freaking all of a sudden we all heard freaking the Undertaker's "You're Gonna Pay" theme song, which in the original version it was the freaking it was the "Keep Rollin'" theme song from Limp Bizkit that he had at this point.
Yes.
Just keep that in mind. I'm just like, well, mixing Kane's theme song with "You're Gonna Pay" don't really.
No, it was shortly after this that he had the rolling. He still had "You're Gonna Pay."
He didn't have the "You're Gonna Pay" theme. I had this on VHS when it got released. It was the "You're Gonna Pay" theme, or not "You're Gonna Pay." It was the "Keep Rolling" theme. "You're Gonna Pay" didn't have that theme song until about a year later. But whatever.
Yes.
Either way, they dubbed the freaking dang Limp Bizkit song with the "You're Gonna Pay" theme song. Right? But either way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take away how bad of a match this is. And when I say bad, it was domination.
It wasn't bad. It was complete and utter domination by the Brothers of Destruction.
Seriously, I think DDP and Canyon only got about 10% offense in this match.
They didn't get any offense.
Okay, if they had a little bit of offense, so I would say more. It was closer to 5%.
It was funny as hell. Freaking the Undertaker is literally right when he gets in the cage after Kane just slams the door shut. The referee locked, and then Sarah fucking padlocks the fucker.
Yeah, and then DDP and Canyon tried to escape early, but that didn't work. All right.
Yeah, no. Dude, you're facing a 7 foot and a fucking
6'10", almost 7 foot. Almost 7 foot. In other words, they're facing two tall sons of bitches.
I think he was like 6'8", 300 and something fucking pounds, and Undertaker was 7 foot, 350 or 250 or something like that.
Yeah, and then at one point, Paige did manage to fight back when he nailed Taker with a low blow, so I guess Paige is a dick to Taker's dead men.
Yeah, but fucking Undertaker got pissed and fucking started beating the shit out of him.
Oh, wait, no, this wasn't freaking Phenom Taker. This was Badass Taker, so I guess you could say that DDP was a dick to Taker's badasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, then Paige had Taker into the cage 2 times, but like you said, eventually Taker freaking got pissed, just fought back. Yeah, and then freaking Kane nailed a dropkick on Kane, but in the long run, that didn't really matter. Freaking Taker decked Paige with a boot. Yeah, and then Taker decked Paige with a boot to the face and a punch to Canyon. Right?
Yes. Dude, that was funny as hell. Fucking Kane just like, yeah, I just ate that bitch.
Yeah, and then Kane got up and nailed Paige with a big boot to the face and a boot to the face of Canyon as well.
Yeah, so you could say that Kane and Undertaker gave them the boot.
Yes. Yeah, and then Kane then lifted Canyon up, lifted Canyon up, and then threw him into the freaking cage. Right? And of course, Canyon then fought back.
A grown-ass man throwing another grown-ass man like a fucking feather.
Yes. Of course, Canyon tried to fight back, sent Kane into the cage to stun him, but Kane came back with a choke slam on the Canyon. And then Kane then hit a powerbomb on the Canyon against the cage, knocking him out. And then the Undertaker then nailed 2 running shoulder tackles against Paige against the cage. Paige against the cage. It must rhyme. Right?
Paige and Cage.
Yep. Yeah, and this was, of course, Canyon and DDP got their little offense here, but it didn't really last long. Of course, Paige tried to escape, but Taker freaking got on top of the cage with Paige at the same time. It's like Taker knocked Paige off of the cage, leading to Paige freaking being crotched on the top rope, so I guess you can say that Taker's a dick to Paige's diamond cutters.
Yes. The only one that ever got out of the cage was Canyon, and then he ran like a little bitch.
That's only because freaking Taker told Kane, hey, let Canyon go, fuck him. And I'm just like, oh, crap. That's when I'm like, well, this doesn't look good for DDP at all, you know, the former 3-time WCW champion and main eventer. Right?
Yeah, DDP's like, come back, help me. And Canyon's like, fuck
Ken's
this.
like, fuck this, I'm out. I did not sign up for this bullshit. Right?
And then fucking Taker's like, okay, I've done enough, doing mine. He's like, okay, you can go up. Kane's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like,
actually, no, before we even get to that point, we gotta talk about this. To say that freaking goddamn Paige got beat by The Undertaker and Kane at a 2-on-1 situation is a understatement. Paige got his ass kicked badly.
He got fucking demolished.
He got destroyed by both Taker and Kane, mostly Taker here, while Kane just sat there and watched.
He got fucking mollywopped.
Yes, he got destroyed from existence in this match. Right?
Let's see. if anyone else besides us knows what mollywopped means,
Leave
because
it
a
in the
lot of
comments.
people of this generation do not know what mollywopped means.
Yes. Yeah, and then freaking
Dude, fucking. At one point, Undertaker took out a fucking bike chain.
Yes. And he used it to freaking slam DDP up against the freaking cage. Taker even then nailed Taker and Kane nailed a freaking. Kane hit a choke slam on Page, along with a sidewalk slam by Taker, who covered DDP only just to pull him up and be like, no, his ass kicking ain't done yet. I'm like, at this point, Taker's just fucking with him at this point.
Yeah.
And like I said, Kane was just sitting there watching the whole time after this. Right? And then after...
Kane's just sitting on the top rope, just watching the whole show play through.
Yeah, and then after...
He's like, all I need is popcorn.
Yep. Yeah, and then like I said, Kane or Taker whipped freaking Page or DDP into a steel cage after wrapping a chain around his neck. But then Taker decided to play some mind games, like you said, by backing Page into the turnbuckle and said, "Get your ass out of here. I'll let you live. You ever come back again, I'll kill you." And DDP fell for the bait, and Kane was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Right?
Yes.
And even Sarah was like, "What the hell are you doing?" Right?
And he's also just like, wait
a minute. And as soon as freaking Page was high enough, Taker freaking stopped him, and then all of a sudden you hear Paul Heyman go, "The Undertaker lied!" And then Taker then nailed a massive choke slam onto Page from the top rope back into the ring, and to end everything off, Taker then nailed the last ride power bomb onto Page and then covered DDP to win the match. Thus, the Unified Tag Champions are The Undertaker and Kane. Your thoughts on this one?
It was funny as hell. Fucking DDP got fucking mollywopped.
I felt like this was fucking overkill in a burial.
Well, this was Page's career in a nutshell.
Oh, and just for a little context here, for a little hindsight, if you think Page getting his ass kicked in a 2-on-1 on this, basically in a 2-on-1 cage match because his partner left him high and dry, if you think this was a burial, no, the burial would have been the next following night on Raw, on the August 20th, 2001 edition of Raw, where Taker beat the hell out of DDP, allowing his wife Sarah to pin him in the ring in a sanctioned match. And that's when everyone knew, well, DDP's buried in WWE. His career's never going to be the same again, which it wasn't. Right?
The career in a nutshell.
I mean, when people think of Diamond Dallas Page's time in WWE, do they think about his motivational speaker character? Nah. Do they think about his European Championship reign that he had later on? Nah. Do they even think about his WrestleMania 18 match for the European title against Christian that he won, that he beat Christian at? Nah. They think of this failed stalker gimmick that buried him. For a good reason. Because it was a shitty storyline to begin with. I'm glad I never have to talk about this crap again.
This was fucking WCW's idea of doing this, not McMahon. It was Shane and Stephanie that wanted to try to play fucking mind games with Undertaker. Then they learned real fucking quick.
I mean, no amount of DDP yoga is going to freaking take this goddamn storyline away from history. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Ugh. So, yeah, I didn't think this match was very... I'm not going to say this match wasn't very good. It just didn't feel like a cage match. It felt more like a brutal beatdown. Right?
Oh, it was a cage match, all right. And it was a beatdown, all right. It was just a one-sided ass... fucking Page, Diamond Dallas Page, or DDP he was trying to be a one man in an ass kicking contest, but that one man just got his ass kicked by the only one man.
Yeah. Anyway, we head back to the back now. I'm just going to make this brief. We see The Rock in the trainer's room. And The Rock told the dog that it will take more than one rock bottom to a table to beat him, basically. And then Sean Stasiak ran to the room and freaking goddamn flew his goddamn freaking bum rushed himself past the fucking over the goddamn trainer's room or trainer's desk area.
No, if fucking Stasiak's like, oh, I failed once. I'll go do this again. I'll avenge myself and prove myself to Stone Cold.
Yeah,
flies right across,
right over the trainer's table.
The trainer's table. I'm like, you just lawn darted yourself. You fucking idiot.
And then The Rock then informed the trainer that he, The Rock, would be the next WCW champion. And that's the last we see of Sean Stasiak during this freaking show. Yeah, and here's a little insight. This whole gimmick that Sean Stasiak had of him being an idiot like this, that was punishment from what I heard of him freaking go around and leaking to everyone that WCW people are going to be involved in that WrestleMania 17 match between Shane and Vince that happened months prior to this. From what I heard,
concussed himself. That's why you didn't see him again, is because he concussed himself after he fucking lawn darted himself across the trainer desk table.
Yeah. I mean, the other question, what other freaking spot did he have? Oh, when the referee was done, was he supposed to go out during the main event and charge for The Rock only to eat steel chair? Who knows, right?
Technically, it was supposed to be Stasiak that was supposed to go and mess with The Rock during his match.
Yeah.
But since he concussed himself, Shane McMahon had to do it. He's like, well, that plan failed.
It's like, shit, because he long darted himself over the trainer's head and nailed the floor with his head, right?
All you see is, he's like, I'm going to get you. And Rock dodges. He's like, well, this moment, he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, but of all the two Sean Stasiak segments there, him running into the friggin' dang garage door was funnier.
Well, I think him running into this fucking door was the prelude to him concussing it, because he fucking literally went face first. He's like, okay, I'm fine. I'll get you again.
Nope. Oh, shit. Right? I'm like, dude, you're Elmer Fudding with your body. Fuck. Who the fuck Elmer Fudds with their body, man? Damn.
Well, even when Sean Stasiak was wrestling in WWF and then went to WWE, he still fucking fumbled.
Yep. I mean, let's not even talk about the gimmick he had about a year later. Maybe a little under a year later. Don't even talk about that Planet Stasiak stuff no one wants to talk about. Right?
Oh, God.
You know what's funny? I'm surprised I still remember that because it was so brief. Right? And awkward. Anyway.
He was still under punishment for... See, they had him do the worst fucking gimmicks for, I think, a year and a half.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, the next match, they aired the video package for the next match, which was the WWE Championship match with Stone Cold Steve Austin defending against Kurt Angle. And, of course, this rivalry all started at Invasion the month prior when Steve Austin turned his back on the WWE and joined the alliance by costing the WWE the match in the inaugural brawl. In the end,
because he got hurt because Mr. McMahon was hugging Kurt Angle.
And then Austin said he jumped to a team that will give him the best competition in the world. I'm like, shit. Right? Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and he pretty much accused Vince McMahon of grooming Kurt Angle to replace Steve Austin. Basically, is what he was trying to say. Right?
Dude, that was like Pussy Austin. I didn't care for that one.
Yeah, and which set up this match, and Angle pretty much said, just like he did in the 1996 Olympics, that he was going to bring the gold back home to where it belongs. Will we see, and will we see that? Well, I guess we're just going to have to talk about that.
Nope.
I'll just spoil it right away, why don't you? For those who haven't even seen or know about this event. Of course, whatever. Kurt Angle made his entrance. Made his entrance. He didn't get the "You suck" chant at this point. He actually got a big ovation from the crowd.
This was fucking a couple of years before the "You suck."
Yeah.
You suck.
I mean, hell, this was Kurt Angle with hair that we're talking about.
Yes.
Feels weird that I have to point that out every time, right?
Which is fucking weird. The fucking a few times I'm like, oh, he had hair.
I mean, we already.
I just remember the fucking hair versus hair match that he had with Edge that had his hair never grow back.
I mean, we already covered the event where he got his head shaved bald by Edge. Even Angle jokingly said. Even Angle jokingly said that. Yeah, Edge, he cut my hair so damn bad and so damn hard that it never grew back. In reality, Angle was balding, but still, right?
Is.
And of course, Steve Austin made his entrance, and this is when he had his modified. This is when he came out to his modified Alliance heel theme, and he got a standing boo bass, and the crowd really hated him for this because he was a member of the Alliance, or the leader of the Alliance, we should say.
Yeah.
And of course, Angle got out of the ring, and those two had an intense stare down before the shit was on in the freaking aisleway between the two. So it started with back and forth real quick. Oh yeah, and your favorite referee, Earl Hebner, was the referee for this match.
Uh-huh.
So Hebner tried to get them all back in the ring, but Austin then worked over Angle with punches and chops. After about a minute, and after being out there for about a minute or two, then they went back into the ring to start the match. Right? Officially.
Yeah.
And of course, after the bell rang, Angle took over with punches, but then Austin responded with more punches and a hard Irish whip into the corner. But Angle bounced back with a clothesline, and Angle then nailed Austin with a running crossbody for a 2 count. Right? I mean, this was intense from the damn start, so you knew this was going to be a great match. Right? Then Austin freaking battled back, working on the left leg of Angle, including, of course, Austin wrapped a chair around Angle's, because going in the match, Austin wrapped a chair around Angle's neck and Pillmanized it, weakening it up, right? Austin, remember that's why he started working on the ankle of Angle. But then, however, Angle managed to lock the ankle lock in onto Austin, but Austin got to the ropes, and then he left the ring onto the outside, where he decked Angle with a clothesline. Of course, it was kind of funny that during the brawl on the outside, some kid in the audience at ringside yelled at Austin saying he sucks, so Austin gave him the bird. I'm like, damn.
Alexa.
I'm like, damn, that sounds like something you'd see today, if you know what I mean. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then back in the ring, Austin nailed 3 vertical suplexes on Angle, but then Angle freaking came back and nailed 3 Germans of his own. But Austin tried to fight back, but Angle nailed 1 more German suplex. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit more German suplexes. I think he was at 6 or 7 at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Austin came back by nailing Angle in the back, sing him through the metal turnbuckle. And I guarantee you, when Angle was nailing all them German suplexes, a young Brock Lesnar was looking at that and got inspired.
Uh huh.
Right? A little bit later on, Austin connected with a suplex off the top rope, and both got to their feet. And then Austin nailed a stunner and got the cover on Angle, but Angle kicked out at 2. And Austin was upset at the referee, but the referee was like, no, it was a 2 count. So Austin then nailed another stunner on Angle, but Angle freaking bumped and got to the outside. And outside the ring, and at this point, Austin was kind of furious. Right? So Austin went to the outside, and he whipped Angle face first into the ring post, which busted Angle open. And yeah. And then following that, Austin sent Angle face first in the ring post 3 more times. Right? And the referee was like, I ain't counting them out. He was giving them a lot of leeway in this match for this brawl. Except for when Austin went to go nail Angle with the championship belt. Hebner took that away from him. But then Austin then whipped Angle into the ring post 2 more times. So 5 total. Right?
Yep.
And then Austin then began punching a bloody Angle on the outside, and then back in the ring, Austin went for a pinfall, only to get a 2 count. Right? And at this point, freaking Angle was bleeding buckets at this point. Right? And of course, at this point, freaking Austin whipped Angle into the freaking ring post again and into the announce table, but Angle managed to come back by pushing Austin over the barricade at ringside. And those two are over the barricade where the fans are nailing him. Austin nailed concrete. And at this point, these two were fighting on the crowd. But then Angle was able to lock the ankle lock on Austin, who was on the barricade trying to get back into the ringside area. Right?
Yep.
And I'm just like, damn. Angle looked like he was trying to break Austin's leg or ankle there. Yeah, then freaking Austin and then Angle then pulled Austin back into the ring by the leg, and he nailed the freaking ankle lock submission hold again in the ring. But then Austin got to the ropes to break the hold. I'm like, that's about 3 ankle locks in one match already. Right?
Yep.
And Angle was in control over Austin with a belly-to-belly overhead suplex, and then Austin got back up, so Angle dropped him with another belly-to-back suplexes here. Right? And then Angle then sent Austin into the Spanish announce table twice. And then rolled Austin back into the ring. Right? And of course, a little bit later on, Austin freaking locked Angle in a $1 million dream, but while in the hold, Angle walked the ropes, leading to a pinfall for a 2 count. Pretty much similar to how Bret Hart and Steve Austin's match at Survivor Series 96 ended, but this time Austin kicked out instead of going for a 3 count. As we know, because we reviewed that match with Bret Hart and Austin. Right?
Yep.
And of course, a little bit later on, Austin nailed freaking another stunner to Kurt Angle. And we have 1, and we have 2, but nope, Angle got his shoulder up again. And at this point, freaking Austin was pissed off. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then freaking Austin slapped Angle in the face. Austin blocked a kick, and Angle hit an Angle slam for a 2 count, right?
Yep.
But here's where the finish started getting a little bit convoluted. Austin got back up to his feet, and then he just decided to deck the referee Earl Hebner and knock him out of the ring. So he had no referee. But then Angle responded and nailed a DDT on Austin. And then referee Mike Chioda went down to the ring and counted a 2 count for Angle. And then Austin then hit a low blow right in front of the referee, so Austin is a dick to Kurt's Angles. Or you can say that Austin was a dick to Angle's gold medals. Right?
Yeah.
And the referee asked Austin, what the hell was that for? But then Austin then nailed Chioda with a Stone Cold Stunner. So, yeah, the second referee was taken out.
Yep.
And then freaking Austin then freaking brought the WWE Championship in the ring. Looked like he was going to nail Angle with it, but referee Tim White got out to the ring. So, without warning, Austin just blatantly nailed Tim White with the WWE Championship belt, knocking him out. And then Angle freaking snuck up from behind, nailed another Angle slam on Austin, went for the pinfall, but there was no referee. And then WCW referee Nick Patrick came out, and before Patrick could even do the freaking 3 count, he was like, no, screw this, ring the bell, and then announced that Kurt Angle won by disqualification. Because Austin kept nailing all the officials.
Excessive violence to the referees, which was bullshit. We all know Shane and Stephanie told him to go down and screw Angle.
So therefore, the winner of the match was Kurt Angle, but he did not win the WWE Championship because the championship cannot change hands under disqualification or a count out.
Yep.
So how did how did Angle respond? Respond to this by attacking Nick Patrick and locking Patrick into the ankle lock. And Patrick was tapping out like a bitch while Angle's music was playing at the same time. Right?
Yep.
So your thoughts on this brawl overall from start to finish?
It was good.
Yeah, it was a good brawl. It was a good brawl, and it told the story that it needed to tell. And the ending of it, though screwy, let the fans know that, hey, this rivalry ain't over. So you know they're going to be fighting each other again, possibly the next pay-per-view Unforgiven, which they did. Yeah. And of course, it was the next. And of course, I need to talk about this. It was the next night on Raw after this event that Kurt Angle came out and sprayed the Alliance with the milk truck. And that iconic moment that's still replayed. So yeah, Austin got himself intentionally disqualified because he knew he couldn't beat Kurt Angle in this match. That's basically the story they were telling here. So yeah, and now afterwards they show the video package hyping up the main event here, which is Booker T defending the WCW Championship, representing the Alliance against The Rock. And then The Rock freaking came back after taking a few months off to go film The Scorpion King following Mania 17. And The Rock said, finally, The Rock has come back to the WWF, or WWE, not the Alliance. And he will forever be the People's Champion. And then The Rock started mocking Booker T in promos, and then obviously they're obviously on the final SmackDown before SummerSlam here, Booker did put The Rock to the announce table with the bookend, which Jim Ross was like, oh my God, Booker hit the rock bottom on the Rock to the table. And Pauline was like, no, that ain't the rock bottom, that's the bookend. I'm like, it's the same maneuver, right?
Exactly.
So it doesn't even matter what you call it. That's like freaking trying to compare the Scorpion Deathlock to the Sharpshooter. It's the same maneuver. Right?
Yeah.
Or that's like freaking trying to compare Kane's tombstone pile driver to the Undertaker's tombstone pile driver. It's the same maneuver.
Or the choke slam.
Or the choke slam. Or the choke slam to the choke slam. It's the same maneuver. Doesn't matter who does it. Right?
Yes.
So yeah, Booker T made his entrance first as the reigning defending WCW champion. This was his 5th reign as WCW champion, hence 5-time WCW champion here. Right?
Yeah.
And he had Shane McMahon in his corner, and then The Rock came out to a huge ovation. This was The Rock's first pay-per-view match back since WrestleMania 17. And at the start of the match, The Rock freaking nailed a back elbow on Booker, and then The Rock then left the ring to go after Shane McMahon, who in turn they both ran over a camera guy that was on the outside of the ring. And then back of the ring, Booker decked The Rock with a punch, knocking him down. Yeah, but then The Rock freaking got back, got the momentum back, nailing a Samoan drop for a 2 count. Yeah, then a little bit later on in the match, freaking Booker then nailed a jumping leg lariat for a 2 count on The Rock. And then The Rock whipped Booker T over the top rope to the floor. And then The Rock then whipped Booker over the announce table. And then gave freaking Booker a low blow punch, so you can say The Rock is a dick to Booker T spinneroonies.
He punched him in the gut, but fucking Paul, he was like, "Oh, that was a low blow. You saw it. It was a low blow. It was not a low blow."
A lot of fucking low blows on this pay-per-view, by the way. Right? And of course, Booker eventually fought back by sending Rock face first to the steel steps. And then Booker sent freaking Rock groin first into the barricade at ringside, so you can say Booker is a dick to Rock's People's Champions.
Yeah.
Or should we say in more current freaking timeline, Booker was a dick to the Rock's final bosses?
You could.
Yeah, then Booker then decked The Rock with a clothesline as they battled into the crowd, which Booker cleared off one of the announce tables. And then Rock tried to fight back, but then Booker then whipped Rock into the ring post. Yeah, and of course, at this point, Shane McMahon freaking unhooked the turnbuckle pad, exposing the steel. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then back in the ring, freaking Booker nailed a spinning heel kick on The Rock for a 2 count. Oh, yeah, and then after freaking getting a 2 count, following a flying forearm, Booker T nailed the most devastating rest hold in all of sports entertainment on The Rock, the chin lock. Yay, we finally see it.
Favorite move.
Oh, I bet when you seen that, you're like, oh, D2's gonna be really happy about that one, right?
Yes. And I was correct.
And of course, The Rock eventually got out of the chin lock. I don't know how he still had his chin intact there. Rock took Booker T down and applied the worst looking sharpshooter submission hold on him. Like, seriously, them legs weren't even locked in together. No wonder Bret Hart said The Rock had the worst sharpshooter ever. I mean, shit, you can easily get out of it. That doesn't even look like it hurts. You know what I'm saying? With the way The Rock does it. Right? Even you've seen it, you have to admit that. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, Shane McMahon got on the apron, so Rock brought him into the ring, and then Booker then nailed a super kick for another 2 count. Right?
Yep.
I bet at this point, the fans were all like, okay, something's got to give here, right? Rock nailed a clothesline, and then he nailed a catapult on the Booker, which sent him into the exposed steel turnbuckle. And then The Rock hit a DDT on Booker for a 2 count. And that's when Shane McMahon decided to get into the ring with a steel chair. Put a steel chair in the ring, and then Booker tried to grab the chair, but So Shane grabbed the WCW title. The referee was distracted with Booker, right? Then Shane hit The Rock with the WCW championship, knocking him out. And of course, it was at that point, Farouk and Bradshaw, the APA, came back out to ringside. They started to chase Shane around the ring, which resulted in Bradshaw nailing Shane with a clothesline from hell. Little payback for what Shane McMahon did to Bradshaw earlier in the night. During that six-man tag, right?
Yes.
And of course, back in the ring, Booker nailed the book in, and then the referee, Charles Robinson, freaking was checking on Shane. And Booker got the cover, and when Booker went for the cover, Charles Robinson came in late, counted 1, counted 2, but Rock got his shoulder up and kicked out at 2. Right?
Yep.
Of course, then The Rock then got back up, ran the ropes, nailed a leaping clothesline and a belly-to-back suplex onto Booker for a 2 count. And then The Rock then hit his signature spine buster, and the crowd knew what was coming at this point. So then The Rock then nailed the people's elbow onto Booker for a 2 count. But Booker didn't get out. Shane McMahon ended up grabbing the referee Robinson's legs and freaking ripped him out of the ring. So The Rock left the ring, gave Shane McMahon a rock bottom to the floor, knocking him out once again. I mean, shit, the boy Wonder doesn't know when to quit, does he? And of course, freaking fans are chanting Rocky, of course. Booker freaking came back, nailed Rock with a scissors kick to the back of the head. And instead of freaking going for the pinfall like he should have, Booker decided, you know what? Now is the time that I'm just going to do my spin-a-rooney. Which after he did a spin-a-rooney, freaking The Rock kept up and nailed a rock bottom to Booker T for the 3 count. And to win the WCW Championship. And then The Rock was celebrated with the WCW Championship afterwards, thus bringing an end to SummerSlam 2001. Your thoughts on this main event?
It was a good main event. Booker T never got the fucking WCW title again, so he couldn't become a 6-time.
Yeah, but it's not all bad for Booker T because it would be 5 years later at Great American Bash 2006 where Booker T would win the World Championship once again, thus becoming a 6-time world champion in the process.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the match was okay. Which world title match on here do I think was better? Obviously, the Angle and Austin match I thought was better than the Rock Booker T match, but because of how the WWE title match ended, I understand why that wasn't the main event and why this WCW title match was the main event of this show.
Yeah.
But anyway, now that we reviewed the show, SummerSlam here, we go to what I call our favorite part of the review segment here, podcast here, and that's our rating system. Edge defeating Lance Storm to become the new Intercontinental Champion. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, 3.5.
Yep. The Dudley Boys in Test defeating Spike Dudley and the APA in that 6-man tag. I also gave 3.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.
X-Pac defeating Tajiri to unify the Cruiserweight and Light Heavyweight Championships. I gave that one 3 3/4 out of 5.
I gave that a 2.5.
I enjoyed it way more than you did, apparently. Chris Jericho defeating Rhino. I gave that one 3 3/4 out of 5.
I gave that a 4.
Rob Van Dam defeating Jeff Hardy in that ladder match to become the new hardcore champion. I gave that one 4.5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, easy.
Yep. The Undertaker and Kane defeating DDP and Kanyon to become the unified tag team champions in that one-sided cage match I gave that one 3 out of 5. I gave that one 3 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
I gave it 3 out of 5. It wasn't that much competitive.
5 out of 5.
Kurt Angle defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin by disqualification in that WWE Championship match. Even though it ended by disqualification, it doesn't take away that it was a great brawl. I gave that one 5 out of 5, regardless of the end.
I gave it a 4, 4.5.
And in the main event, with The Rock defeating Booker T to win the WCW Championship, I gave that one 4 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
So my final grade for SummerSlam 2001 is a solid B.
Yeah, B.
Yep. So yeah, the match, the one or two matches I would recommend for this from this show, if you're just going to go back and watch one or two matches, would be the Jeff Hardy Raw Van Dam ladder match and the WWE title match with Austin and Angle. Even though it ends in DQ, it's still a great match to see before the end.
Yeah.
What would you recommend?
The ladder match and the cage match.
Of course you'd recommend the cage match. So yeah, that's our thoughts on SummerSlam 2001. Oh God, I shudder to think now. SummerSlam 2001 was my pick this week. And you know what that means, right, buddy? I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to regret this like I do most weeks, but yeah, next week is your pick for the Classic Pay-Per-View Review podcast, so oh God, what garbage are you going to make me watch next week? I don't like your laugh already.
We are not going to be watching a SummerSlam.
Damn it. Thanks for getting my hopes up.
We are going to be watching Hell in a Cell.
What year? I swear to fucking God.
Guess which Hell in a Cell we're going to watch.
What year are we watching it? I swear to fucking God if it's the one that I'm thinking of right now.
It's the Hell in a Cell Bray Wyatt the Fiend versus Seth freaking Rollins.
Go fuck yourself, you fucking piece of shit. I watched that match live just like you did, and even you agreed at the time it was fucking garbage. Hell, that was the event where you said you were almost tempted to get tickets to go see it in person, and then afterwards you were like, thank God I fucking didn't.
Yes.
It literally took place in Sacramento.
Yes. We're going to be watching Hell in a Cell 2019.
I fucking hate you. I give you a good event and you raise me this shit? Is this your payback for King of the Ring a month ago? I swear to God it is.
Yes.
Motherfuck off.
Motherfucker made me watch Brain Rot. I'll make you watch your other favorite event.
Oh, fuck you. You piece of shit. God damn it.
I'll make you watch Hell in a Cell 2019 Universal Championship. Seth Rollins versus The Fiend.
No offense to the late great Bray Wyatt, but that's probably the worst match he's ever been involved with. If not one of the worst.
Fucking winner. There was just, referee stoppage, which is bullshit.
I can already tell. I'm not going to spoil it, but I already know what grade I'll be giving that damn match. Or rating I'll be giving that damn match. There ain't no question. I know we got to talk about that fucking crap next week. I swore back in 2019 after it happened, I'm like, I never want to watch this shit again. Now you're making me watch this shit again. Fine, after next week's review, I'm never going to watch that crap again. Fuck that shit. Making me have to relive it twice.
Watch it, and I'll make you watch it again.
Just think. Just remember, there's more crap events than this. I may get even the next week.
Oh, I know. There's WCW.
Oh, God, there's freaking other crappy WWE events we haven't freaking gone through yet. I mean, we have...
Or we can always watch.
And now that we have...
Hell in a Cell 2017.
Well, you said Hell in a Cell 2019. I mean, hell, when it comes to crap events, we also have a new company that we only did 2 reviews on. That's TNA. I'm pretty sure they got a fucking chest drawer of crappy events. One of them being Victory Road 2011.
Fuck you. Make me watch that. I will swear to God, you will not like what I pick.
Oh, after next week, I'd be afraid. Because, I did have a good event for the following week after this, but you may have just made me change my mind. Depending on how bad this is.
Well, I could also just change my mind and say Hell in a Cell in 2015.
That was also crap, but we might as well review Hell in a Cell 2019 and get this one over with. That way we don't have to watch it ever again. I'll just use the same strategy I did for freaking goddamn King of the Ring and be like, I'm watching it now. That way I don't have to worry about it later. God, my brain hurts. Oh, Lord help me. Anyway, next week. Oh, God. Anyway, next week, we'll be reviewing the 2019 Hell in a Cell because this man hates me, apparently. So, until then, we will see you next week. Peace.
Did I ever say that I liked you?
Why do we even put up with your ass?
Because we are not friends. We are just acquaintances.
Shut up, Charlotte, or Alexa Bliss, whoever you're trying to be. Oh, God, help me with this one. Until then, we will see you all later. Peace.
Just remember, guys, there's much, much worse. One in particular in WCW, 1965 or 95. No. It was the one with the freaking uncensored.
Fuck you.
Yeah, uncensored 95 with a freaking one where Dustin Rhodes got fired.
You can go fuck yourself on that. Anyway, next week we'll be reviewing the 2019 Hell in a Cell event. God, that main event sucked ass. So yeah, we will be talking to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.